When was your gut feeling actually right? They say mothers know, that there's a part of us wired to detect danger before it even makes a sound. I used to think that was just a saying, until the night my gut spoke louder than logic ever could. My husband Adam and I had recently moved into a new neighborhood, quiet cul-de-sac, friendly neighbors, one of those places where people still brought over casseroles. We both worked full-time, and with our 5-year-old son Max starting kindergarten, we needed after-school care. Our across-the-street neighbor, Miss Diane, came highly recommended. A retired preschool teacher in her 60s, warm smile, always baking something. She had a quiet house with bird feeders on every window and a garden that looked like it belonged in a magazine. Everyone loved Miss Diane. She'd lived in that house for over 20 years, watched most of the neighborhood kids grow up. So when she offered to watch Max a few afternoons a week, we were thrilled. It felt perfect, except for one thing. Her nephew Scott had recently moved in with her after a rough patch in his life. She never said what kind, just that he was getting back on his feet. I only met him twice, once when he brought groceries in, and once when he nodded at me from the porch. There was nothing obviously wrong with him, but something in his demeanor rubbed me wrong. Too quiet, too stiff. And when he looked at Max, I don't even know how to explain it. It wasn't threatening, it was just off. Adam told me I was being paranoid. You think everyone's a threat since you read those true crime blogs? He teased. Diane's a saint and the guy barely says a word. I told myself he was right, but something in me said no. So I did something I never thought I'd do. I put a small GPS tracker in Max's backpack, not to follow him constantly, just to ease my nerves. On the 3rd week of Diane babysitting, a Tuesday, I left work early after a client canceled. I thought I'd surprise Max and pick him up. Drove straight to Diane's house, expecting to see Max playing in the yard or inside baking cookies like usual. But when I knocked, Diane looked startled. "Oh, didn't expect you today," she said, glancing behind her like someone had startled her. "Max is just watching TV. Mind if I come in?" I asked. Something shifted in her face. Just a flicker. "Of course," she said. I stepped inside. The living room was empty. No cartoons playing, no toys on the floor. "Where's Max?" I asked. Probably in the back room. Let me." I didn't wait. I walked down the hall, past the guest bathroom, toward the room Diane used as a sewing space. The door was cracked. I heard a voice, too low, too calm, and then Max's small reply. I pushed the door open. Scott was kneeling next to Max, holding a small box of what looked like candy, but the box wasn't opened. His hand was on Max's knee, not doing anything, but not casual either. Just there. Max looked up and smiled. "Hi, Mommy." Scott stood quickly. It was just, he said he liked candy, and I didn't wait to hear more. "Max, come here." My voice was sharper than I meant, but he obeyed instantly. Scott started to explain again, but I turned to Diane. "You said he wouldn't be around the kids. You promised." She looked ashamed. "I'm so sorry. He just popped in to grab." "I'm done," I said. "Thank you, but we won't be needing your help anymore." I took Max home. That night, I asked him gently what they were doing. He said Scott had told him about a secret game, but didn't get to explain it yet. That he wasn't supposed to tell me because it would ruin the surprise. I reported the incident. Nothing illegal had technically happened. Nothing we could prove. But a background check I insisted on revealed that Scott had a sealed juvenile record and had been investigated years ago for inappropriate conduct with a cousin. Diane was horrified. Kicked him out the same week. She tried to apologize, but I wasn't interested. Adam didn't tease me after that. In fact, he upgraded our home security and personally vetted Max's new daycare center. As for me, I learned to never doubt the feeling in my gut again. It's not paranoia if something's actually wrong. Sometimes that little voice inside you is the only warning you'll get, and I'm thankful every day that I listened.